Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Hey y'all, I'm loving how like my skin is just glowing. Like it's glowing. For me, it's glowing, y'all. Happy Saturday. I pray that you all are having a fantastic and an amazing day. I pray that you are enjoying your weekend. I pray that you are resting, that you are preparing to rest, that your family is doing well. I pray that all is well concerning you. What else do I want to say? I pray that you're in great health. I pray that the ideas for 2024 are flowing and they are flowing fast, like so fast that you got to get like a pencil. Hold on, let me back up a little bit. A pen or pencil and just like write like right. I pray that God is giving you clarity in every area of your life and that you are implementing the things that he's telling you to do and you are putting those things on I guess you can say ice so that when it's time to move forward in those things, excuse me, you can. What else do I have? Yeah, so welcome. It has been a while since I have been live on YouTube outside of Transformational Mondays. Of course, we have Transformational Mondays. I have, because it's not we, well, me and God, if we're gonna say we, right? I have Transformational Mondays. Hold on a second. Forgive me, y'all. All right. Let's see. All right. Yeah, so transformational money is for those of you all, let me just okay. For those of you all who do not know me, my name is Dr. Janine Mobley. I'm affectionately known as Dr. Janine. And I help God fearing women who desire to take their idea and make money from their idea. I teach them how to make money from their idea, all while Mama, building themselves. And I'm a mom. Um, Check me and Daddy's bathroom in that basket. Okay. I'm a mom too. That would be me. I'm a mom too, right? I'm a wife, I'm a mom. But also, in addition to helping them to make money from their idea, is I help to build them as an individual, as a woman, so that as they build a thriving business, they won't get lost in the sauce. Like, right? So as their businesses grow and become bigger, they become bigger and better and greater. Every Monday I host Transformational Mondays, and Transformational Mondays is all about transforming, right? Being transformed by renewing your mind. You didn't see it? No. Okay, I apologize. I have to find it when I'm done working. But Daddy won't let me find it. Okay. I'll have to get it when I'm done, okay? Okay. All right. Love you. Gotta love kids. I love them. Yes. So, Transformational Mondays are all about me providing you all with mind changing renewal content so that you will be transformed. And the goal is for you to go out there and be better, do greater, in all of the amazing things. So, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel because this is where it's at, right? Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you share this live broadcast to about 2 or 3 people. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm really loving the way my skin is looking. Let me tell you, okay, it's just sidebar. This is just who I am. I was one of those that like struggled with my skin for like adolescent, teenage, and like quite a bit of my adulthood. And I'm just loving the way my skin is glowing. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. So, tonight we're going to talk about, I want to ask you this question. Have you ever went into a new year, said that, hey, I'm going to do all of these amazing things. This is going to be a new year, new mindset. I'm going to be better, like celebrating. Let somebody come like cue the confetti, and this is going to be the most dynamic year ever, only to get to mid-year, only to get to March, even maybe only to get to the summer, only to get to the end of the year, and maybe just disappointed because nothing happened that you initially planned the end of the year prior. Well, tonight I'm going to share with you all how you can make the three simple things that you can do to make your 2024 amazing. And what I'm sharing with you are things that I actually do. This is not stuff that I have that I can't attest to. I'm telling you things that I do. One of the things that I understand is time flows. Time is something that is constant. Time is something that is consistent. Time is something that will happen. So as long as there is life, time will move. And what happens is that I've discovered is that time moves, time does what it's supposed to do. But what happens to us as individuals, what happens to people, let me just group that as in most people, is that time does its job in progressing and advancing and in doing all of the things that it's supposed to do. But people get stuck in a place in their life without growing. People get stuck in a place in their life where they get what I like to call concrete. It's just like, think about concrete. You if you plant your foot in concrete, right? In wet concrete, and you allow it to settle. Oh, that within itself will preach, right? If you allow your feet to settle in that concrete, when it's time, when you got to go to the bathroom, or when you want to go eat or do something or just move, what happens is when you stand up, guess what? You're going to fall because your feet is planted in the concrete. You didn't move. And what happens to people is that they get so concrete in life, they get so concrete in the place that they feel has been their constant. They haven't opened up their eyes to something better, or they may desire better, but they don't believe better for themselves. And this is what happens year after year for people, year after year for people. I want to lose weight, do all of these different things, and weight loss is a huge thing because everybody wants to lose weight. But here's the thing, there are so many people wanting but not enough people doing. I'm gonna say that again. There are so many people who want to lose weight, so many people who want to make a lot of money, so many people who want to be successful, so many people who want to dare to do all of these amazing things in life, but there are not enough people who are doing what it takes. There are not enough people who are becoming who they need to become in order to get the results that they desire. So what happens is at the end of the year, or you progress in the year and you're looking at your life and you've negated your goals, and instead of course correcting, what happens to most people is that they do nothing and they go back to what they have known. They go back to what is the usual, right? But what one thing that I truly understand about God is that He created us to change. He created us to grow. He created us to advance. How do I know? There's a scripture that says that above all things, hold on, so I won't lie. So there's a scripture. It's 3rd John 2, and this is a very popular one. It says, "Beloved, I wish above all things." Now, when I think of all things, it's all things. It's nothing greater, nothing above it. So he's saying, I wish above all things that thou, meaning you, prosper. Let's talk about this. Let's stop there. When I looked up the word prosper, prosper means to advance. Excuse me. Hold on. Because this is like a whole thing. Okay. Definition. All right. Prosper means, according to Webster, because I looked up what is it? The Greek term in the Strong Concordance, right? Let's start there. Let's start there. So let's go to the 3rd John. Nope, that's not what we want to do, Jesus. 3rd John. Nope, that's not what I said, was it? 3rd John 2. So it's 3rd John. It says, so when we look up the Greek term of prosper. And I actually love looking this up because it reminds me of what God has said, what God wants and desires for me, right? Not just what I want for myself, because I've always wanted to prosper. And when I thought about prosperity, I always thought about money, right? But when I looked up prosper, it means to be successful. It means to have a prosperous journey. It means to grant a prosperous and expeditious journey. It means to lead by a direct and easy way, right? And it means to succeed in reaching. So what this scripture tells me is that it's God's will. I don't know what's going on with this hoodie, but who cares? It is God's will that we succeed. It is God's will that we progress. It is God's will that we profit. But what happens to most people is that you get concrete, you get cement, you get settled in what life looks like, that you forget about what God has said concerning your life. And this is one of the reasons that I have learned the importance, as the scripture has said, to meditate on the word day and night. To meditate in the, what is a Hebrew term, means to study. It means also to speak, right? And to think. So when we're talking about the word of God, it is most beneficial to us to make sure that we read the word daily and apply it to our lives. So one of my goals is anybody who is connected to me, my goal is that we're going to thrive in 2024. We're going to prosper in 2024 and beyond. So tonight we're going to talk about 3 simple ways that you can make 2024 amazing while I get interrupted.
I'm just gonna get something.
Okay, well, I guess I'm not getting interrupted. All right. So the first thing is, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share this live broadcast with about 2 or 3 people. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So for tip number 1, and this is like the most important out of anything else that I say. You do this, the rest of them, and it's a plethora, okay? It's a plethora. But I'm giving you the things that I focus on most. Got something on my lip. This is just like, did I get it? Okay, never mind. But anyway, if you don't do nothing else, I want you to do number 1. If you do number 1, everything else will fall into play. I promise you. So I hope you got your sheet of paper. I hope you have you an ink pen or something to start writing this stuff down. So the first thing, number 1, that you can do to make 2024 amazing, to make 2024 great, is to work hardest on yourself. I'm going to say that again. Number 1, I want y'all to write this down, and somebody can put it in the comments if you want to. Number 1, work hardest on yourself. I don't care if you are doing millions of dollars in your business. I don't care if you haven't started a business. I want you to work hardest on yourself. Why do we want to work hardest on ourselves? When we think about why you do work, right? A lot of the times when we work on things, is to build things, is to grow things, is to evolve things, is to form things, is to bring things into completion. But what happens is people begin to work on the external. They begin to work on their businesses. They begin to work on the physical attributes of themselves, and they negate the individual that they are. We work on people, we work on jobs, we work on businesses. But what happens is people begin to neglect themselves as an individual. And the problem with that is, remember, you are the one who's working on the business. You are the one who's working on whatever area of expertise that you are working on. But you're applying all of these principles to these different areas of your life without sharpening who you are. So how can you effectively be better in your business, be better in your purpose, be better to the calling that God has called for you to do and to walk in, if you're not working hardest on yourself? And I'm gonna tell y'all one of the reasons. I'm gonna get me a sip of water. Y'all got y'all water? I'm gonna tell y'all one of the reasons why people don't like to work on themselves. I remember some years ago, I think it was a teleseminar. This is when like the teleseminars were in. And I had one lady who told me, she said, Janine, and she was so honest, and I appreciated her transparency and her vulnerability, because a lot of people don't have the boldness and the confidence to say it. But she said, she said she didn't like herself. And I'm going to tell you, and y'all may resonate with this, right? It's easier, and go with me here, it's easier to work on the outer. It's easier to come to work, get that every day, do what you're supposed to do on the job, work on the kids, work on the relationship, work on all of these stuff, all of this stuff. But when it comes to working on yourself, one thing that I find is that we don't like when things about us are not right or not perfect. But let me tell y'all, and this is a sidebar, the blessing of you identifying what's wrong, or what I like to say, what needs to be improved, is that you begin to position yourself to become better. You begin to position yourself to become greater. Begin to position yourself to become more valuable and more profitable ultimately. See, if you continue to overlook the issues, your problems, or the things that are not right with you, how can you then become more valuable? How can you then become more sharper? This is why all the time you have to work hardest on yourself instead of working on everything and everybody else giving 100% of your effort. A lot of people love to say they've given all of their all to their jobs and to their careers and to these businesses. And then they complain about when areas of their personal lives are not right. But could it be that you spent 100% of your time focused, or 80% of your time focused on building everything on the outside, that you negated the inside? One thing that I always say is that you cannot pour from an empty cup. And what do I mean? And I wish I had like a glass. If this is a glass, right? And I mean, this is a pitcher and this is a glass. And you continue to pour out, right? And you pour and you pour and you pour, it's going to be empty. But what happens when you need more? If you're empty and you haven't refilled, there's nothing in the cup, there's nothing in the glass. But what happens with people is they pour, 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 and they continue to pour without refilling their cup. They continue to pour without refilling and building themselves. They continue to pour into their careers without sharpening themselves personally. They continue to pour into the family, the marriage, and everything without realizing that they as an individual are dying on the inside. You're broken. You still haven't healed from the things that happened to you 20 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You're still in a place of unforgiveness where you haven't forgiven people who have done you wrong and who have hurt you. And because of that sore experience and being in a place of unforgiveness, then you approach every situation and every individual and opportunity from a place of unforgiveness. And one thing about unforgiveness is that it is toxic. See, you not forgiving somebody does nothing to them. It does everything to you. It does everything to you. Is it easy to forgive? Absolutely not. Especially depending upon what happened to you. Especially depending on what the context of the whole situation that occurred. But one thing that I truly understand, and I say this with compassion and empathy, that regardless of what has happened to you, right? 99.9% out of the 100%, you can't go back and undo it. You can't go back and undo the rape. You can't go back and undo the abuse. You can't go back and have them undo the words that they said to you while you were growing up. You can't rewind the time so that they can undo what they did to you. You can't. One thing that I always say is that I can't control anybody else, but I can control me. I can control to a specific point what happens to me. You are, but it's okay. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Right? So you can't control anybody else but you. You can control your feelings. You can control your emotions. You can't control who apologizes to you and who doesn't. But here's the thing, if you continue to hold on to the negative experience that happened to you, then you'll stay stuck of where you are. I'm talking about three things, simple things that you can do to make 2024 amazing, right? So the first thing is work hardest on yourself. And one of the things that I would encourage you to do is begin. And how do you work on yourself? One, you be honest. This is one of the things that I always do. Be honest with yourself. And what do I mean? When you broken, say that you broken. Acknowledge. Here's the thing, acknowledge that you are broken. Acknowledge that you are angry. Acknowledge you are upset. Because what happens is a lot of the times we feel like if we don't confront it, it'll just go away. Or we overlook it and eventually it'll just pass. But what happens is it doesn't. It begins to dig a deeper hole of resentment and bitterness and anger. And again, you approach every aspect of your life from that position. You begin to approach every opportunity from that position. So how can you expect to make your life 2024 at this point amazing if you are not honest with where you are and how you feel? So as an example, I remember a couple of years ago, I remember complaining. And this is one thing about me. I heard myself complaining, right? I was complaining about my weight. That's what it was. Because I was heavier than this. So I was complaining about my weight. And I have moments where I can hear myself talking, right? About how I was feeling. And I guess I irritated myself so much that I was like, Janine, you can't complain about anything that you are not willing to change. That's okay. And if they don't, it's totally fine. Thank you, Breaklin. I hope I said your name right. Thank you for joining me. Have a great night. And if you all haven't, make sure you subscribe to my channel. You can come back and watch the replay, right? So I heard myself complaining so much. I was just like, Jenny, you can't complain about something that you're not willing to change. And that having that epiphany and that light bulb moment has changed my life ever since. So if I don't like something about my life, if I don't like something about where I am, I'm always in solution mode trying to figure out, okay, how can I improve it? Because what I did at that moment when I realized I didn't like being as big as I was, I said, okay, how can we improve this? And then I got to doing. Again, we set goals. You get excited about what it says that you say that you're going to do. But what happens is people get so focused on what they say they want that they don't focus on doing the things that it's going to take to get what they want. All of this is all about working hardest on yourself. So that's the first thing that you can do. Work hardest on you by being honest in the state that you're in. Be honest that you don't like the way your finances look. When you're honest about it, then you can identify, okay, how can I improve my finances? What about my finances do I not like? Is it that you don't have enough in savings? Is it that if you know that if you lost your job tomorrow, that you wouldn't have enough to live off on for the first month? Is it that if you retired that you don't have enough in retirement? The great thing about that is that it's fixable, it's repairable. You can save money, right? You can start a business and make money that is not limited. But you got to first identify that something is not right. Work hardest on yourself. Number 2, because I can go all day on like work hardest on yourself. Because look, when you work hard on yourself, every area of your life will be improved. See, remember, you are outside of God, you are the core and the center of your life. And if things about your life are jacked up, then that means some area of you is jacked up. That means some area of you needs to improve. Good evening, y'all. Hey, y'all come on in. Make sure y'all share this link with about 2 or 3 people and make sure you subscribe to my channel, right? So, and when you look at yourself, if you know that, okay, your marriage, your relationships all fall apart, then what about you is contributing to those areas of your life falling apart? See, when you can be honest about something, then you give yourself the ultimate power to change every aspect. When I realized that I was complaining about how big I was like, okay, then we got to do something. So I went from this is what I'm complaining about to this is where I want to be to okay, what do I need to do to obtain who I want to become? I look at my business the same way. I look at my marriage the same way. Even if my husband says something or does something that tease me off, let's just say that, then I have to look back at myself and ask myself, what did I do to contribute to it, if I did anything at all? But what we like to do, and this is just honest, this is people, I'm not saying this is you, but what people like to do is we don't want to be the blame. Right? We don't want to be the wrong in the situation. We want to always be the one that's right. But the reality of it is, a lot of the times, majority of the times, I don't care if it's your money, I don't care if it's your marriage, I don't care if it's your relationship with your children, your mama, your business, whatever. If you don't like the way it looks, 99 times out of 100, you have contributed to the problem. I'm gonna give y'all an honest story. My husband and I became homeless about what was that 2012. Ultimately ended up sleeping in our car one night like it was a real thing. But the reality of it was that I had a doctorate degree. Right? I had a doctorate degree. But I had to ask myself, Janine, although I wasn't happy about it, how did I contribute to the state that I was in? Did I position myself to have sufficient savings until we found a job, because my husband ended up losing his job. And even with that, how did I contribute to being fired, even if I didn't think it was my fault? So when you get a reality check, now God bless us all, we're in our new home, well, in a home that we purchased. It all just, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, work hardest on yourself. And again, the first thing is to be honest with where you are, how you feel, and what you are experiencing, because it's the greatest gift that you can ever give to yourself is to confront how you feel and where you are. And here's the thing, you ain't got to tell nobody how you feel. You ain't got to tell nobody how you going, what you're going through. And even at that point, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Why? To me, what's shameful is knowing that something is wrong, knowing something isn't right, and not doing what it takes to improve whatever situation that you're in. To me, that's most shameful. But even in that, we still shouldn't be ashamed. One of the greatest powers that God has given us, one of the greatest gifts outside of Jesus Christ that God has given us, is He's given us the gift to choose. So we can decide whether we're going to stay where we are or whether we're going to do something different. Right? Thank y'all for the 100s and the hearts. Number two, the other thing that you can do to make 2024 amazing is to get clear. I want you to think, for those of you all who wear glasses, whether it's reading glasses, because I wear reading glasses, or whether you wear glasses as corrective lenses, isn't it frustrating to walk around with lenses that are very blurry or to have contact lenses that are not clear? Right? It affects the way that you see things. It affects the way that you approach things. It affects the way that you move. So I want you to get clear. Get clear on whose you are. That's the first thing. And whose you are is about being rooted and grounded in who created you. See, that's the first thing. When you get clear on whose you are and who created you, there's nothing that anybody can say about you that if it don't align up with His word, that you believe it. There's nothing that can happen to you that will then to make you turn back around and remind yourself that you are a child of the Most High God and King and the creator and ruler of this earth. And surely, regardless of how low you are, He is the same God that will pick you back up. Right? So I want you to get clear on whose you are. How do you get clear real quick on whose you are? It's about you developing a relationship with God. I always say this, and this is just my perspective. If you're in a relationship, what is one of the biggest things that affect relationships? And people may say finances, but the number one thing is a lack of communication, even communicating about the financial state. Right? So when you're in a relationship with God, God desires us. But here's the thing, we have to desire Him. God communicates with us, but are we communicating with Him? Let me give you this perspective. God knows everything. He is the creator of heaven, He is the creator of earth. He knows the end of a thing from its beginning. So, wouldn't it be most beneficial to us if we always stay in contact and communication with Him so that He will prepare us, He will warn us, He will position us on how to move when we have an upper hand of what's about to happen? So, number one, be clear on whose you are. When you have clarity, you can see better. When you have clarity, you can move better. You can see what's coming to you before it arrives to you. And the great thing about seeing what's coming to you is that you can course correct. You can move and you can shift. You can shift directions. You can shift your dynamic. You can shift the way that you're thinking about the situation. If you need to pull in resources from somewhere, you can. But if you don't have clarity, you can't see well. You can't see well. Okay? The next thing is get clear on what you want to accomplish for 2024, or better yet, get clear, and this goes back to the first part. Get clear on what God wants you to do this year. What impact are you supposed to have this year? What are you supposed to do this year that you haven't even started yet? What big idea has God given you that is scaring the life into you that you haven't moved on yet? Sidebar, daughter's coming. Yes, ma'am.
Where's the cone? It's taking so long.
I know it's taking long, but that's because I'm working. I haven't forgotten about you. Mommy is just working.
Okay.
Okay?
Let me just get something.
Okay, sure. Just be careful of the ring light, okay? Thank you for your patience, madam. Right? So get clear on what you're supposed to accomplish this year. And the reason why you need to get clear on what you're supposed to accomplish this year, yeah, you gotta love kids, right? Gotta love the children. When you get clear on what you're supposed to accomplish, you want to say hi? Be careful of the cord. Hold on. Come over this way. She wants to say hi. It's just a group of people who've never seen you before. Come on this side since you want to say hi. She wants to say hi, y'all. Hold on. Be careful. Okay, stick your head in the camera.
Hi.
Okay. Are you done?
I think.
Mwah. Okay. Be careful. Gotta love the kids.
Go.
Okay. Okay. Thank y'all for showing her some love, right? So you got to be clear on what it is that you're supposed to accomplish this year. I want you to think of it like this. When you're clear, you know the direction that you should be heading in, right? So let's just take travel as an example. For those of us, like, we've updated. Remember when maps was a like physical paper maps was a big thing. Then we progressed to MapQuest, and then TomToms. Now we have all of these different Google Maps, Waze, and all of this different stuff, right? So before you can go somewhere, you have to have a destination in mind, right? So your goal, you getting clear on what your focus is for this year, allows you to position yourself to figure out what you need to do in between where you are right now and where you desire to go. But if you don't have a goal, if you don't have something that will give you a focus, then how do you know what activities you need to do? See, a lot of people are just moving in life, right? And you find yourself 10 years later, 20 years later, and you like, dang, you ain't do nothing better than you did before. But the reality of it is that you didn't set an intention to do something amazing. But when you set the intention to do something amazing, then you can position yourself to have the necessary activity to get the results. So, number two, make sure you get clear on what you're supposed to do this year. So, the first one was, oh gosh, work hard on yourself. So, we're talking about the three things that you can do to make 2024 amazing. Amazing, right? So the first thing is work hard on yourself, and I may have to just do a live on that because that within itself is amazing. Number two is get clear. Number one, get clear on whose you are as a child of God. For those of us who are believers, that is the first thing that you want to do. The second thing is get clear on what it is that you want to accomplish so that you know how to position yourself, your activities, and your actions so that you can get a result. Again, and if you're thinking about what it is that I'm supposed to be doing, what has been ringing in your spirit? What idea or what thought has been coming to you and you haven't moved on yet? That probably 9 times out of 10 is what you need to be focused on this year. So do what's necessary. Once you acknowledge, once you figure out that that's what you need to do, then all you got to do is figure out the actions that in between time that will get you from where you are now to the ultimate goal. Okay. So number three here. Oh, see, I was like, bruh, man, from the fifth floor. Here's my three. Number three, and this is the last one, and this is one of also a very powerful thing to do. Surround yourself with the right people. I'm gonna say that again. Surround yourself with the right people. I'm gonna say that again. Surround yourself with the right people. Who are the right people? The right people are the people in your life or the people that you need to invite in your life that will push you into the place that God has destined for you to go. Not the people that you got to pull to where you trying to go. See, you got a vision. You got stuff that you want to do and accomplish, right? Hi, I hope I'm pronouncing this, Ozzy Ross Jr. Welcome. Make sure y'all, if you haven't already, make sure you share this link with about 2 or 3 people and subscribe to my channel. So make sure that you're surrounding yourself. When I think about surrounding, I think about a circle. And in the middle of the circle, this is like a halfway circle heart. Good evening, y'all. So if you think about a circle and you're in the middle of the circle, when you surround yourself, that's a whole lot better. Thank y'all. When you surround yourself with the right people, then you have people around you that will support you, not people that you got to push into their destiny because you're the only people, you're the only person in the crew or in the environment that sees greatness. It's time to change your circle. It's time to elevate your circle. It's time to surround yourself with people who have a greater vision, people who have a greater perspective, and people who are vested in your success. People who will celebrate your wins, people who will see the greatness that God has put in you. Somebody, I think is oh gosh, I believe it was Tiffany Montgomery that called them destiny helpers. Right? So who in your life that you can pinpoint is a destiny helper in your life? Who are the persons? And here's the thing, it ain't got to be a whole crowd of people. It just has to be people in your life that when you feel like quitting, they tell you, no, this is what you said you were going to do. These are people who are going to hold you accountable. Here she comes
Mama,
again. Yes, ma'am.
It's a ladybug in the living room.
Okay, I'll come get it. I'll come get the ladybug.
Here.
Okay. She bought the fly swatter, y'all.
It stinks my nails.
Okay, I'm almost done. Okay, Gracie. She's such a joy. Such a joy. Right? So I want you to consider, thank y'all for the heart. She's such a joy. She came in here earlier just to say hi. So I want you to think about the people in your life that you need to add to your circle. Right? I heard somebody say this. If I'm not going to quote it because I'm going to misquote it. But I want you to identify people in your life that will push you into your destiny. I'm reminded of the story in the Bible where the man had a disease, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was paralyzed to the point that he was in the bed. And what happened was his friends carried him to Jesus because they believed and they knew that Jesus would heal their friend. Their friend was weak. Their friend couldn't go on his own, but they loved him so much and they believed so much. And they saw they saw the greatness in their friend that they said, you know what, we're going to carry him to the healer. Oh my gosh. So when they got there, they couldn't physically get to Jesus from their position, but they didn't stop there. They said, you know what? Let's take him on. Let's drop him in from the roof. Let me tell you, this is the character of his friends. They were relentless. One, they had faith. They believed even when their friend was in his most paralyzed state that he could be healed. Get people in your life that have faith. Get people in your life who believe. Get people in your life who have hope. Get rid of people who are pessimistic. Number two, get people in your life that are so vested in you succeeding and doing well in life that they will do whatever it takes to help you get to the success in life that God has called you to. So if there are people in your life that will allow you to give up, people in your life that will talk you out of what you know God has called you to do, then you should wonder and question whether those are people that you should be surrounding yourself with. See, when you're surrounded, it's an environment. It's an environment. And here's the thing, environments are important. See, with the environment being jacked up on earth, that affects us as individuals. It affects our health. It affects the way that we approach life. And when you have people in your life that you are surrounded with that are pessimists, people in your life who always have something negative to say, people in your life who don't see how you're going to make whatever it is happen that you know God has called you to do happen, it affects the way that you approach your life, your goals, and your intentions. It should be your desire to be the best person that you can be and to always surround yourself with people that are their best and that are aspiring to be better. If we're going to make 2024 what people love to say every year is my best year yet, you got to have the three of the basics. Number one, you got to work hardest on yourself. Quit working on the outside. Quit working on the business. Quit working on all of these projects, things, and relationships before you work hardest on yourself. See, the greatest investment that you can ever make is investing the time in yourself, is investing in making you better. Number two, what you need to do, and I hadn't got sidetracked just that quick, y'all, is to get clear. See, remember, for those of you all who wear glasses, even if you wear sunglasses, who wants to put on a pair of shades that are blurry, a pair of shades that need to be clean? It's going to affect the way that you drive. It's going to affect your ability to see. So when you're unclear on what you're supposed to be doing this year, or you're not clear on whose you are, it's going to affect your ability to see. See, many of us haven't accomplished the things in our lives because we can't see, because you can't see. See, you can see the physical, but your vision and your scope to see the destiny in your life has been obscured and blurred. Why? Maybe because of life's challenges. Maybe because of the things that have happened to you. But now it's time to get clarity. Again, you can't change nobody else. But the person that you can change is you. That's what you have the most control over. And see, that's the thing. The beauty of it is it's easiest. See, it's harder to try to change somebody else because you can't change them. But you can change you. And here's the thing. When you change you, everything around you changes. Every aspect of your life around you changes when you change yourself. See, even the negative people have to go because you changed. Because you can no longer tolerate the negativity, the pessimism, and all of the foolishness that comes with their stuff in their junk. You can no longer tolerate hearing people complain about their life without them making the necessary changes and choices to improve who they are. The greatest investment that you can make is in yourself. And lastly, number three is surround yourself with the right people. See, when you do number one, let me tell you something. You'll be amazed at how your circle will up level and how many people who need to fall off will fall off. This is the year to grow. This every year is the year to grow. One thing that I truly understand is that God's desire is for us to prosper, to progress, to advance, to become better. Time remains the same, but God has always caused us and called us to become better. Why? Because when we become better, it makes everything around us better. So I hope that these 3 tips have helped you all. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And I appreciate you all for joining me. Again, if you have not shared this live broadcast, make sure you share it and bless somebody today. As always, remember to know your worth. Good night, y'all. Bye.